Finally got the screws I needed. This has been a slow build because I keep needing new parts. Alright, I didn't have the right side metric screws. They're all too long, so I got these ones. They are, let's see, yeah, 12 millimeter and 4s. Alright. So, okay, I have these, I believe they're called Wera, W-E-R-A, Jokers. Really nice wrenches. But I want to hang them on my wall control board. So I made this, and it's kind of complicated, so I figured I'd just make a video putting it together. And if you have questions, leave a comment. So I had to, well, I printed all these parts, some rings and all of these. Everything that's not 3D printed is this aluminum tube. It's 20 millimeters outside diameter, and these M4 by 12 millimeter screws. And they're the counter-suck. Focus. Focus! God. Come on. No, whatever. You know what I mean. Counter-suck. Screw. Alright. Let's see. Where do we start? Alright. So, the way that this well, one thing to remember is that if you don't have the wall control board specifically, you just need these brackets and you can screw them into the wall. And that'll work just fine. But I have this specific kind of pegboard that has slots and holes, so all these extra parts are for that essentially. And it's over-engineered like usual. I can't keep anything simple. Alright, so we're gonna need 2 and 2. There's the left and then right of these pieces, because each of these is gonna have one on the left and one on the right. So I'm gonna put these like that. They just click in. These little tabs are what's gonna hook into the slots. So do one, let me get the other one. You're going to want to make sure that the hole is on the outside, because these are going to connect. Oh, yeah, this one's backwards already. Alright. So these are going to connect in the center like this with this little piece. So we want to make sure there's an extra hole. So there should be 3 holes on both ends. So first, we will screw these in. Originally I designed these so that I would put some inserts, but it didn't seem to need them. It grabs enough. If it starts to get loose, I'll probably come back and put some inserts. There we go. Yeah, so essentially it's, yeah, 2 of them are going in the side piece, and the third one is going into that middle center piece. And this was a remix of 2 different things. The part that holds this pipe and the wrenches is one remix, is a remix of one, and then the part that connects to the wall control board is part of the DDD wall control system that I made a remix of. I basically just added the right holes so that this piece can just screw in. Normally there aren't any holes in this. It's a little loose. Might add an insert. We'll see. Alright, put both ends together. Might be because I already put it together once and took it off. That was my mistake. Cool. Just so you know, there's a flat end that when you line up the holes, it's flush with the top. And if you put it upside down, it actually wouldn't be flush. So you want to make sure there's a left and a right. They're not the same part. Because when you put it onto the wall, it can't be sticking up, or else you can't put it in the slot far enough. So make sure you orient the left and right side on the correct side. It should be flush on the top. Flush on the top. Alright, and we got two halves. So there's a few reasons why it's not just one long piece. One of them is the way that the DDD system for the wall control, it would only have two of these tabs, and I feel like the weight of this needed maybe 4 tabs. So I split it, and then it has 2 more tabs here, but also it makes assembling it a little bit easier because there's 2 screws that end up being behind that. So first, let's put this in one end, and then alright, so these are the hooks. Some of them are doubled up and some of them are unique to one wrench. So like the 19, 18, and 17 basically use the same one. 16 has just one, because they're all just slightly thinner and thinner as the wrench is getting smaller. 15, 14 use the same one. 13 and 12 use the same one. 11 and 10 use the same, and then 8 has its own. So the way I'm going to orient it is so that when I pull it up, I could pull it to the right, and you can flip it and do it the other way. But that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to start with the 8. There's a tiny bit of a gap, so I make these little spacers to kind of space them just enough so that there isn't any extra space, and it makes them have a little more resistance instead of swinging too freely. So there's 8. We'll go put the 10. Another spacer. Spacer, and I actually don't put a spacer between 18 and 19. And that ends up being the perfect amount of space. So now you can see these are all the hooks. And then now we have to put the end on the other side, press them together, and it's just a snug fit. Perfect. I ended up cutting a 300 millimeter tube down to 250 millimeters for this to fit. And then this is the last piece that connects the middles together. Alright. basically it. And none of the screws should protrude, at least out of the two ends in the middle. Those ones should be flush or less. These two don't matter as much because they're already not up against the wall, but the rest have to be flat for this to clip in. Yeah. Alright, so check it out. So you know what? I'm just gonna put this on the wall and then we'll hang them. It'll be easier to see. Alright. Alright. Here's a spot. So we got the 4 tabs. Put it in. There you go. We got all these. So I'm just gonna push them up like that. And I'll do one at a time. Start with 19. There we go. Yeah, they take up a lot less space now than they used to. They used to hang like this all the way across, and it would basically go from here all the way to there, and so now it's taking up only this much. So I'm probably gonna do another one for these 4. I'll probably I think I might do them out because it's only 4 of them. We'll see. Depends on the weight. Yeah, so you want one in the middle, you just kind of pull that out, take it, and then the pressure kind of keeps it from falling it down. So the spacers are there. And then when I put it on, it pulls it back. There is a spot in the back where I was going to put a piece of plate metal and then have a magnet on the top of these tabs so they would like hold it like snap back. But it turned out the pressure alone keeps it from falling back down. That was way simpler. So at least I didn't over-engineer it that much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, if you're interested, I definitely have a lot of wall control 3D printed stuff. So I don't know. If you want to see more, let me know. I still have also a bunch of these. I just printed to go in my sustainer. So this is another wall control thing for my bits. This one's got a satisfying little magnetic click. They're really easy to pull out because they're pretty loose, but the magnet holds them in. So I'm happy with this. So this one I did put brass inserts. And if you ever want to reclaim those magnets, you could just pop them out. So that's nice. But yeah, with these, I'm slowly trying to organize my screws. This is my metric one, so these new screws, I'm going to make a new bin. So this is the standard bin. This is the smallest one you can get for Festool, but sometimes it's useful to have half size or even smaller and stackable on like 2 levels, especially when you get into really small screws. And then the bigger screws, obviously, like, yeah, this is fine. Or if you just have a sheer like large amount of a specific one. I use them 4x16 a lot, so I have a lot more of them. Yeah, so this is the metric bin. I have a wood screw and all the other SAE bolts, and yeah, so yeah, these are gonna go in my wood screw one. But if yeah, I don't know what I'll know about any of these other ones, like the teeth bit. Yeah. that's my 3D printer shelf. Yeah. Alright, I'm just ranting on at this point. Well, I hope this helped. Wrench, wall control, holder, 3D print, done.